My name is Joey Janela. I am 27 years old, and I've been wrestling for about 10 years now. And, you know, I'm just a boy in his mid-20s trying to live his dream. Fuck that shit. I am the fucking man right now. The days of the bad boy are just beginning. Come here. This is Cribs. Going upstairs up here. What's up, man? Shit. You wanna see this? You wanna see this? Casa de fucking Janela? Look at this shit. There he is. The God. As a kid, I was somewhat attracted to the fad of professional wrestling. I liked Hulk Hogan, but I really didn't get into professional wrestling until about 96. I got more into WCW because the cruiserweights. See, these posters haven't moved. These are the same posters I've had in my room since I was like 10 years old. And then the Attitude Era, Steve Austin, that was the nail in the coffin for me when it comes to what I wanted to do in life. Steve Austin was the man. Look at the Condemned, the great Steve Austin classic. Signed by Steve Austin, brother. That's a collector's item. 5-star fucking movie. Fucking awesome. How was he jumping?
Is this how you get ready for your match?
Yeah, man. This is the Dennis Stamp workout plan, baby. This is how I get in shape for my matches. That's a workout, dude. Dennis Stamp wasn't playing. I've never done that in my life. When I was 15, I actually lied my way into the business. I basically told a local promoter that I was a trained wrestler, that I trained somewhere in Pennsylvania, and I could sell tickets for his show. Basically, he told me, all right, you gotta sell 15 tickets, and when you sell those 15 tickets, you can wrestle on my show. Didn't care if guys were trained, didn't care if guys were backyarders like myself. He gave me the tickets, and I only sold 3. He still let me wrestle on the show. I was totally untrained, 100%. I think I only knew how to lock up, maybe bump, and barely knew how to hit the ropes. But then after that, after my first match, you know, I was a little bit before that as well, I started setting up rings for them. Just like basically before the show, just getting in the ring and just messing around. You know, just like a kid. I was 16 years old, you know. I really had no business being in the business yet, but I just, you know, it's really what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to be a professional wrestler, so even if I didn't have the money or funds to pay for training, I was gonna get into the business no matter, so. I was a kid, I was a cocky little piece of shit because no one really taught me how to act and how to present myself in the business. I kind of just got in there and started fucking rolling with the punches. You know, a lot of people didn't like me because I was arrogant. I thought I was really good, but I wasn't that good. People started to take notice that I was, you know, a disrespectful little shit, and started, you know, treating me with the kind of respect I deserve by getting socked in the face in locker rooms and fist fights in the locker room, and, you know, getting the shit kicked out of me, you know, until basically one day I guess not until recently I straightened up my act. I'm still to this day a little bit of a problem child. So it's a WWE champion.
So Kevin Owens has you blocked.
The WWE champion. Look at this. That's just the power of the bad boy. I don't know. I've never met him in my life. I think I met him once, and he was nice. I don't know. I must have said something that pissed him off.
Troublemaker.
Yeah, look at me. The eyes of a fucking demon. As a kid, I was probably the worst child in this town. That's no exaggeration, no lie. I was suspended every week from school. I had basically the detention record in the town. It came to a point where the cops were bringing me home every weekend, or the cops were chasing me around town. Spit on teachers, throw books out the window, flip desks, get into fights. I would start riots. My mouth ran. I would no regards for anyone's feelings, causing problems with security guards. I was going to the arcade. I would piss in the arcade. I would try to fight girls. I would go get drunk in the woods, drink a Colt 45, and then come out and try to fight security guards. I was such a mother's worst enemy. You know, kids you see on these TV shows. You know, I was lucky, basically, professional wrestling came into my life because I wasn't into drugs or anything, but I probably would have done something stupid enough to end up somewhere in, like, a juvenile detention center. And that's no exaggeration. That is 100% the truth.
Yeah.
Look at, it's the real bad boy. I lost my father at a very young age, 12 years old. He died suddenly in a construction accident. So I think that had a lot to do with a lot of my behavior. But also before he passed, I wasn't the best. I clinically have very severe ADD to the point that they put me on a very heavy dose of Ritalin till I was about 18 years old.
And there he comes, Sid Vicious on his way to the arena. What's the plan that Terry Funk and Arn Anderson have in place?
I was actually sitting watching WCW Thunder. It was a Wednesday night. I remember there was some kind of cage match with Psycho Sid Vicious, when he came back to WCW. I think this was 2000, October, and basically my mother got a call, and they said, you know, there was an accident, and wow, we didn't know how bad it was. She probably knew how bad it was, but me personally, I didn't. I was too young, you know, went to the hospital and got the news that way. And that basically, you know, was a big hit in just life, you know, and just for a whole family, you know. My brother was very young. You know, I was young, but my sister, you know, we were just, I don't know how to put it. It's very hard losing someone suddenly like that. You know, kids lose their parents to cancer, which is very terrible and awful, but just losing someone suddenly like that, someone very healthy and young at 39, is just, it's surreal, and it really is heartbreaking, you know, and it does explain a lot of my future behavior of just not having a father figure. And, you know, I was still very young at the time. I wasn't a teenager yet, so I had no one really to straighten me out and whatnot. So that's about it, you know.
You said there only could be one bad boy.
I tried to find a niche as Joey Janela. I could never really put my finger on it. I really never knew how to find that extension of myself. I think it was around 2.5 years ago. Rhett Titus is one of my best friends in the business. We had an idea to start teaming together. I mentioned on Facebook, I think I wrote a status that really made a lot of guys pop. I was like, all the girls on the beach are looking at me like, ooh, who's that bad boy? Whistling and hollering at me.
You know who the bad boy is? Huh? They don't want to talk to the bad boy.
So we'd travel together, we'd go into liquor stores or convenience stores, and he'd walk up to the counter guy or the deli guy and be like, you know who this is? This is the bad boy. And basically, it just kind of stuck, and he's like, you're the bad boy now. I said, I guess I'm the bad boy. Finally, I found my niche. I found that extension of myself, which, you know, now fans are saying, man, he really is a bad boy, which I really was growing up. I was the bad boy. I wasn't the bad boy who got the girls. I was the bad boy that started the problems. And now I'm the bad boy who falls off roofs, apparently. Suddenly everyone, I start hearing friends talk about, ooh, combat zone wrestling. Combat zone wrestling was the craziest wrestling in the United States.
This is just the start. This is the way we choose to live. Nobody tells us we have to do this stuff. We are ultra-violent. We are CZW, and there's no other federation on the planet like us.
And I was always a fan of ECW, Big Japan, the Japanese death matches, and I was like, this is just wrestling to a whole new level. I hated Bryan Danielson. I didn't appreciate Bryan Danielson until I was about a little bit older. In my teen years, my main focus was hardcore. I loved hardcore wrestling, death matches, and just big risk spots. Like, how can these guys live after doing this week in and week out? That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be the Sicknick Mondo. I wanted to be all these guys. I was always into those spots. I was always into the risk of professional wrestling. My mind started going a little bit crazy the last couple years, and when I get to a building sometimes I look around and I see the environment I'm wrestling in, and I see what I can do that's different from everyone else. I see what all these guys are doing. They're all trying to do this same style. It's a very athletic sprint type style of wrestling, which is just awesome, but I'm not that athlete. I've never been that athlete. I rely on charisma. I rely on big risk spots. I rely on chaos. It's just like, my style is different from everyone else's style right now. It's just such a chaotic style for this day and age, with the knowledge of concussions that are out, the knowledge of injuries, prolonging your wrestling career. People are starting to notice what I'm doing because it's so different, and guys, you know, in this day and age are like, whoa, this is too crazy. This doesn't belong in wrestling right now, but he's getting noticed, so he must be doing something right. I've never been injured really before in 10 years of wrestling, no matter how crazy I was. I always was a fan of the Sicknick Mondo, Zandig bump from 2003. which is just probably the craziest professional wrestling bump in the history of professional wrestling. So much can go wrong with a spot like that, and I always was intrigued by that spot on how Mondo, his career was suddenly over. The legend of Zandig Mondo was done before it even got started. I knew Zandig, he was always about throwing guys off roofs, and I heard a little bit of rumbling that Zandig was coming back. And, you know, I had the right connections to kind of start rambling and talking about Zandig on social media, calling him out. I never thought a match would happen between me and Zandig. I just thought I'd get a little bit of, just a little bit of rubs from Zandig. It'd be funny to go back and forth with him online, because he's just such, you know, he's Zandig.
What are you, blind? Jesus!
You know, he's just such a underground icon of professional wrestling. But basically, it came to the point that I was contacted and heard that Zandig wanted to work me, and he was coming back running his own show, the Tournament of Survival. It's kind of a throwback to the first CZW Tournament of Death. It was Zandig's Tournament of Death. But I didn't dream of anything like what happened would happen.
Holy shit, dude. This is insane.
So basically, I got to the building at 11 o'clock, and there was already a truck set up with layers of barbed wire, glass, boards for fire. I got there, and Zandig is basically, he comes up to me, and he has basically a notepad with whatever's going on for the day, and he goes, "We're gonna climb up this lower roof," and that's the roof I thought we were going off to. I thought we were going off to the lower roof to the left. I was like, okay. But then we're gonna climb up a ladder to the higher roof, which is about 40 feet in the air, and I'm gonna throw you off through all this stuff. And at the time, I didn't even agree to doing anything with light bulbs or anything like that. So that was kind of just like a spur of the moment thing that Zandig's like, all right, you're in this match, so you're gonna have to, you know, roll with the punches. So I seen this, and I immediately turned pale white. I look at my girlfriend, and I knew something was gonna go wrong. But I was like, all right, I'm here. There's no way, there's no backing out of this. I put myself in this corner. I backed myself up against this wall, and now there's no easy way out. I just have to go through with it, and I have to, you know, I have to make sure, cross my fingers, and hope I don't get hurt. So we're having the match. The match is going great. Zandig, he hasn't trained in 6 years, hasn't stepped in a ring in 6 years, but he's going. Comes time to the roof spot, everything's going great.
Going outside again, going outside. No fucking way.
You know, we get up there, and yeah.
Holy shit!
I was like, all right, let's go. He lifts me up, and I tuck myself in a little ball. I'm like, all right, you're not pressing me. This is scary. We're stepping on a gutter. If you see in the video, he basically steps on the gutter, and it almost collapses part of the roof. Yeah, the gutter almost collapses. The truck is too close. He has me up. He hasn't. I tuck myself.
Oh, dude, be careful, dude.
And basically, we just go off.
Oh my God!
Holy fucking shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
We go off, and it feels like the drop feels like the longest drop ever. It is a 35 foot, 40 foot drop. We go through, and I knew right then and there, like I saw like a flash, and it was just like, whoa, that was crazy. Like, that was nothing a human should feel. Like, it was legit like getting in a car accident. And as soon as I thought that, I'm like, am I alive or am I dead? I went into shock. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, my body tensed up. I couldn't move anything. And as soon as that happened, all the light tubes flew up in the air, and then they came crashing down on us. Then there was glass in my face, there was glass in my mouth. The poison from the light bulbs was in the air, so you couldn't see anything. It was just a cloudy, it was like being in an explosion, like a bomb went off. I kept on saying that, am I alive, am I alive? I'd look at my finger, I knew automatically that my finger was basically almost sliced off. I was like, I need to go to the hospital. Blood is squirting out all over the place. Zandig is laying there, he's covered in blood, going, my back is broken. Yeah, his back was really broken. He broke his back in 3 places.
Here's a man, John Zandig, after a fucking roof bump. Kids, don't try this shit at home.
Please don't.
Oh my God, I'm in pain.
John basically saved my life, I think. He had to go in feet first. The truck was a little bit too close, and when we went off, he had to come down feet first to protect me from landing on the rack or the roof of the truck or even through the windshield. That would have been dead. I would have been dead. There's no way I would have survived that. No way. That's brain damage. Yeah, his back was broken. My finger was hanging off. I was in a daze because I was basically wrapped up in a net of barbed wire, which was very unnecessary. I don't know why there was a net of barbed wire there, but that's basically what sliced my finger open, I think. When I came down, I slapped the ground and the barbed wire just sliced right through my finger, nearly slicing my finger off, and I was like, shit. I had a couple beers after the match. I was like, okay, I'm good. I don't have a concussion. We're good. I talked to the doctors there. They said, we can glue you up right now. I said, no, I need to go to the hospital. My finger is hanging off. I don't think you'll be able to glue this one on. As soon as I went to the hospital, they realized, they're like, you ruptured all the tendons in your thumb. You'll never be able to have that motion in your thumb again. You might not be able to use that thumb ever again. You have to go in for immediate surgery in the next couple of days. So that was it.
What did you think of your son when he came home with the thumb completely almost hanging off of his hand?
That should be the end of wrestling. And I knew that wasn't going to happen. It was like everyone saw that video of him jumping, and there were, people I just ran into. That was one of the biggest, talks of communication about him is like, why? Why did he want to do that? What does he have, a death sentence? There's really no answers for why he does what he does.
Joey!
He's a grown man, he can do what he wants to do, but there is a dangerous side, and you always kind of hope that it's going to sum up soon, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. There's only a certain age you can kind of wrestle to, so we made it this far, so yes.
No.
I don't see any 50-year-old wrestlers out there.
What are you talking about?
Are there?
Yeah, plenty.
So, I guess we're still going to keep going.
What I'm doing right now, is it worth it to me and my future? Is it worth it to me and my family? Especially with my dad dying the way he did in a construction accident with a brain injury. Is it really worth it to, push those boundaries in professional wrestling? It's just, especially with what we went through. It's just, I wouldn't want anyone to go through that. These big risk spots, are they worth it? I don't know, but I guess it's an adrenaline rush. I guess I'm a junkie somewhat, same reason someone would skydive off a building. This is the same reason, I guess.
There's the aftermath. I'm pretty sure they cleaned most of this up, but still a little more cleanup. Alright, so here's the spot where the bump was taken. Zandig and Joe. Now you're gonna tell me that ain't high? I heard somebody say that that's not high. I was like, you're out of your mind. And it was on fire. Those bars, like the way those bars are there, that could have ended up really bad. And it was very cool that nobody got hurt and how awesome that spot was, because I will never forget that.
But the next day, I was just chilling, you know, I had my hand wrapped up. I wasn't really doing much because, you know, I was so beat up from the day before, and I get a call from somebody or I get a text message, said turn on ESPN, you're on ESPN right now. I'm like, what?
That is the one thing that stayed constant.
I was like, this is crazy. And then it was on all these sites, these websites all over the world. You know, I was just blown away. And at the same time, I'm dealing with backlash from people into professional wrestling that, you know, think that there was never a place or time for a spot like that to happen.
It's that kind of just scum-sucking, bottom-feeding, no-talent, horseshit wrestlers that have to do that kind of shit because they can't do anything else. They have no talent, and they're very stupid, by the way, did I mention? They're very stupid.
So I was dealing with backlash, I was dealing with acclaim, and I was dealing with just all these emotions at the same time, knowing that I'd be injured and I don't know if I'd ever come back, or, you know, because doctors told me if you come back and you snap that tendon, you rupture those tendons again, you'll never be able to move that thumb again. That's more movement than they ever could imagine.
Just doing that.
Yeah, that is. They said that's the most movement they have ever seen somebody have with someone with this injury. When I started going to physical therapy in July, I basically talked to my physical therapist, and she said that I'd be able to return to wrestling, but it wouldn't be till November or next year even. And I already got on the phone and I called DJ Hyde, and I already set my return for September 10th. Basically, I started creatively thinking, you know, I gotta do something different. Let's do a vignette. No one does a vignette. So basically, I disappeared for 3 months. We did that vignette and we aired it on iPay-per-view at CCW. We got a lot of people psyched up for my return. It was do or die at that point. It's either go big or go home. So I get to the building that day and I said, Leo, you know what? I think I'm gonna climb on these beams and I'm gonna fall off and give you an elbow. I promise you, you will be all right. You know, I definitely wasn't ready to be in the ring. With my injury, I definitely didn't work out in the ring beforehand. I didn't go to the gym. It was basically, all right, you're taking this brace off and now you're getting back in the ring. It was all in the same week. You know, and then once again, I had to deal with the backlash, and I had to deal with the acclaim, and I had to deal with, you're an idiot or you're a legend. This is what I want to do, obviously, and obviously I'm not going to change for no one, so you can share your opinions about me, you can share your opinions about my style, about my spots, but it really isn't going to change a thing about my mentality and the way I go about my day, the way I go about my wrestling.
You made an 8x10 of you falling off the building.
Yeah, because it would sell. This shit is like legend now. You know, I have my cult following, my fan base, and I'm getting these overseas tours, I'm getting these bookings, I'm starting to see flights. I've never seen this in 10 years. You know, I've earned everything I've gotten in professional wrestling. I'm not just some backyarder. This is 10 years of hard work, 10 years of doing it my way and not kissing ass, getting on my knees, and, you know, bowing down and just playing those politics, just like wrestling was based off of for the last 20 years. It's been a political war zone, per se, in the locker rooms, and I'm not that person. I'm straightforward. I'm a real I'll never backstab anybody. I'm just gonna do things my way. Yeah, if he shows up fucked up and happy, then I'll be happy. This is the most uneventful locker room I've ever been in my life. See, look how bored Matt is. He's a sleepy man. I've always been kind of worried that if I keep on doing these big spots or taking these risks, that the fans are going to expect that from me every match. And if I keep on doing that, I'm not going to have a very long career. And eventually it will get stale enough to the point that fans, you know, they'll get sick of me.
You gotta be safe. There are no mats on the floor, so don't do any crazy dives to the hardwood floor.
Yeah, I don't think you can even do anything, really.
Good. I'm just trying to help young people.
Thank you, Joey. Appreciate it.
Because what's his face, Danny Demanto, is not in the main event because apparently he insisted on doing a moonsault outside the ring, and how many people were in that building?
Probably like 200, if that.
So he snapped his leg for 200 people when he could have done that springboard moonsault in the ring where everybody would have saw it.
Yeah.
Please learn from these things. Nobody listens to me. And I keep watching guys get hurt.
Less than a month ago today, Danny Demanto suffered a career-threatening injury, but he did not want to miss this night to be here with you. And at this time, who's your match with today?
I'm wrestling Sabu. Sabu in 2016. It's a match I wanted to have since I was a kid. But the current state of Sabu is just he's still doing some of his high spots, and he needs hips. I think he has 2-shot hips. You know, it's kind of surreal that I'm wrestling Sabu, but at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of it's gonna be a strange time. No matter what, I feel like I'm still gonna try to put on some crazy spectacle of a match. As long as Sabu's willing to play ball, as long as he's willing to, you know, roll with the punches, you know, I feel like we can do something special tonight. We can do something crazy. I feel like it was as good as it was gonna get, you know. I don't think I've ever wrestled somebody as mangled, you know, as Sabu in my life. He was basically wrestling on one leg. You know, it is what it is. You know, I've been talking about it, you know. It's 2016, and I wrestled Sabu, and it was a bucket list thing. He's a legend. He's someone I grew up idolizing, and he's one of the reasons I do the style I do today is because of Sabu. And, you know, hopefully he gets his hips and someone can bring it back, you know? Because, you know, I feel like we can do better once he has, you know, a new hip. You know, the fans pop when he won. I guess that's all that matters, right? Everyone says that's the only thing that matters. If you get the pop, if that's flat, if the pop is flat after the match, then you didn't do your job correctly. But if they pop after you won, you know, you did your job right. But so I've always appreciated the art of the death match, But I feel like that's just not the approach I want to take to professional wrestling. I do want to make it to WWE. That's my main goal. And by doing these matches, I feel like, there's more risk than reward. I feel like if I keep on doing matches like this, it's not going to be an easy way out. I feel like you can't up the ante more than a 40-foot drop through glass, fire, and barbed wire. It's just not possible. Like, that's it. That is one of the craziest things you could possibly do in your life. In professional wrestling, why go any further into that? You can't really go as farther than that. Like, that is the line, and I crossed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a true treat, a match that has already been rated 7 1/2 stars by Dave Meltzer, the bad boy Joey Janela, one-on-one with the Invisible Man.
You know where he is!
Right in front of you, Joey, right in front of you.
It's not all about stunts. It's not all about risks. It's about just having fun and entertaining an audience. And that's what I do best. I feel like I'm a great entertainer.
Can I just zoom into the shot?
Jesus, Joe.
It's a hole.
Dude.
Stitched up for that.
Oh yeah, that's an artery.
My mom's gonna fucking kill me.
Yes, yes.